behalf of the EuroGOOS Data which is the Data Management Exchange and Quality Working Group, of which Thierry is the chairman. And this work group, aims to help improving harmonization and integration of European marine data. So to introduce the subject, EuroGOOS is composed of 44 members organization from 18 countries, and 137 organizations are involved as members from 30 countries. His vision is to sustain ocean observing and operational oceanography services, and his mission is to lead the development and implementation of sustained and coordinate operational oceanography across Europe. So to achieve this, it relies on the network of experts, several working groups, including one on specializing in data exchange, which is called DataMech, and the teams dedicated to each type of instruments, and geographically for each of the 5 EuroGOOS subregions, whose name you can see on the right here on the. Yesterday we had the presentation of one of the 5 subregions, the Arctic cruise. So concerning major data data policy initiative, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, this is the right slide. So, concerning major data policy initiatives, in 20 and 19, there were two key events. The first with the Open Data Directive Implementing Act on High-Value Datasets EU Directive, and the IOC Oceanographic Data Exchange Policy. So then in the 2021, there was the WMO new unified data policy with a core data which must be freely available, and recommended data for which agreements can be needed. And all GOOS EOVs and ECVs are core data in this policy. And the second one with ICES, or with all data provided to ICs are considered to be public data under the Creative Commons Attribution License, CC BY. And then in the 2023, a revision of IOC data policy is underway, and the new EuroGOOS data policy as European implementation of the IOC data policy. It applies the FAIR principle, in fact. So to get to the heart of the matter, here are the main topics implemented with a core marine data shared with the minimum possible delay. Core, it means at least physical and biochemical essential ocean variables of the global ocean observing system. And also free circulation EOV data, of course FAIR, shared through open and free license, CC BY, and available with minimal restriction on use unless there are valid reasons to restrict access, consistent with national jurisdictions, international conventions and treaties where applicable. And quality controlled and accompanied by metadata, accessible through a web interface and machine-to-machine protocols, and submitted to European and international open data systems, and engage EuroGOOS member organization and community to commit the implementation. So before reviewing the different parts of the data policy, I can already give you the key points which are summarized here. So EuroGOOS Data Policy is the European implementation of IOC data policy. it is our commitment of ocean data circulation and use in support of European and global policies and societal challenges. And it promotes ethically open data, as open as possible and as close as necessary. Clear and unambiguous data license such as CC BY, long-term archives in the certified repository. This is very important to have data on the long term. And of course, fair principles such as persistent and globally unique identifiers. So PED for better data citation and credits to providers. So EuroGOOS Data Policy consists in 10 concise and clear sections presented in the next slides. So don't worry, I'm not going to read the whole things. Just what Thierry has highlighted in the bold here. With so section 1, data, metadata, and products should be accessible, reproducible, interoperable, freely and openly shared with minimum delay and restriction. Section 2, this policy requires EuroGOOS members to share core marine data with the minimum possible delay. Section 3, the condition of use. So the Creative Commons attribution license is strongly recommended here. Section 4, minimal restriction on use unless there are valid reasons to restrict access. Section 5, the free circulation of EOVs is a major importance for science and safety. So then section 6 with fair principles. Data should meet fair guiding principles, of course. And section 7, available data should be formatted and quality controlled with automatic QC and scientific QC also. Section 8 concern data repository, and EuroGOOS members shall, where possible, use their national oceanographic data center organized by CDataNet or European International Observation Networks data systems. And section 9, sorry, it's to use to support long-term and secure archive with, for instance, WOD, OBIS, or WDS. And section 10 with detailed data and metadata sharing guidelines. So what we are now, EuroGOOS Data Policy is now on Ocean Best Practice publication. You have the DOI here. So it is online. And what next in conclusion? The data policy is a commitment for the fair data with continuous efforts to improve citation and credits to data providers through DOI, best practice, and CDataNet vocabularies, and especially ENMO codes. And there is some synergies with EuroGOOS RUSIs, working groups and task teams, with, for instance, Ocean Glider NetCDF format implementation, which is an international activity organized by OceanOps. There is also HF Radar NetCDF format improvements with global LTBrut and compression, which is a Copernicus and CDataNet joint data format. BGC Argo synthetic profiles toward Copernicus Marine Institute NetCDF. It's one of the formats for core Argo and BGC Argo data. And then CDataNet NetCDF and vocabularies for ship ADCP. With EuroGOO ship project funding, and cloud-native DAC, GDAC workflow also. So that's it for my presentation here, and you will find some useful links to find out more. Thank you.
Thank you, Steven. Yes, perfect.
Thank you very much. Congratulations with thorough work on your data policy. I couldn't help but notice that you have used several of the components from the GEO, Group on Earth Observations, data sharing policy. But there was one, you didn't list it as an inspirational source. I would recommend that you do that. But there was one difference, and in the data sharing principles, by the way, for those of you who don't know, every government that are members of GEO, they have confirmed that they will follow these principles. And GOOS is also a participating organization of GEO. Now, what is said there is that we strengthen this statement that data should be open by default. Yeah. This part was missing. Do you have any information on why you excluded that?
Unfortunately not. So I bring the question and for Thierry. Use the messenger. Yeah.
So, well, it's about licensing. Well, I'm a bit afraid you are creating a mess, especially in European countries. As you mentioned on your timeline, there was an event in 2019 that was the second edition of the Open Data Directive, and now it's a law in most of the member states, and so you will have in each member state the official open data license, depending in Belgium of the government. That means that we might have several official licenses for open data. But basically, you would have on our website, these are open data under CC BY. And then we are also a EuroGOOS member. You will have a long text that you say is similar, but is much more difficult to read, is not machine readable than just CC BY. So I'm afraid it creates confusion.